Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jaya Yashodanandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Everyone, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Jaya Gandharvika Diri Dhari Gandharvika Diri Dhari Gaura Hari, Jaya Gandharvika Diri Dhari, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Dev, Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Gauranita 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 Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita Jaya संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे हरि। So welcome everyone to today's Bhagavad Gita class. So we'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपां तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। So Hare Krishna everyone, once again. I hope you are able to see the shloka. Is it better now? Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. I'm giving class for the first time, especially Sri Ram Prabhu. I don't know who Sri Ram Prabhu is, but I want to thank him because he sent a message today morning saying that, Prabhuji, you have lecture seva today. So when I saw that message, I remembered, okay, it's not about giving lecture, it's a seva that I have to do for the pleasure of the devotees and the Lord. So if I make any mistakes in today's class, please forgive me because it is the nature of this human Nitya Baddha Jiva that he'll make mistakes while speaking. And if anything is useful today, then please take it as the mercy of the Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and all the senior devotees. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we'll start today's class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 24. Please repeat after me. Utsideyor ime loka. Utsideyor ime loka. Na kuryam karma chedaham. Na kuryam karma chedaham. Shankarasya cha kartasyam. Shankarasya cha kartasyam. Upahanyam ima prajaha. Upahanyam ima prajaha. Utsideyor ime loka. Utsideyor ime loka. Na kuryam karma chedaham. Sankarasya cha kartasyam. Upahanyam ima prajaha. Utsideyor ime loka. Na kuryam karma chedaham. Sankarasya cha kartasyam. Upahanyam imaha prajaha.
Upahanyam imaha prajaha.
Someone would like to repeat? Yes.
Uttideyurime loka.
Utsideyurime loka.
Nakuryam karma chedaham.
Nakuryam karma chedaham.
Sankarasya cha
Sankarasya cha kartasyam.
upahanyam imam prajaha.
Upahanyam imaha prajaha. Anyone else?
Utsideyurime loka.
Utsideyurime loka.
Nakuryam karma chedaham.
Nakuryam karma chedaham.
Sankarasya cha kartasyam.
Shankarasya cha kartasyam.
Ubhanyam ima praja.
Upahanyam imaha prajaha. Anyone else from Prabhuji's? Prabhuji, would you like to read?
Utsideyurime loka.
Utsideyurime loka.
Nakuryam karma chedaham.
Nakuryam karma chedaham.
Sankarasya kartasyam.
Sankarasya cha kartasyam.
Upahayam imam praja.
Upahanyam imaha prajaha. The Mataji. Utsideyurime loka. Nakuryam karma chedaham. Sankarasya cha kartasyam. Upahanyam imaha prajaha. Word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Utsideyu would be put into ruin. Ime, all these. Lokaha, worlds. Na, not. Kuryam, I perform. Karma, prescribed duties. Chet, if. Aham, I. Sankarasya, of unwanted population. Cha, and. Karta, creator. Syam, would be. Upahanyam, would destroy. Imaha, all these. Prajaha, living entities. Okay, translation also you can repeat. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. And I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. Purport. Varna Shankar is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of the general society. In order to check this social disturbance, there are prescribed rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful and organized for spiritual progress in life. When Lord Krishna descends, naturally he deals with such rules and regulations in order to maintain the prestige and necessity of such important performances. The Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore, whenever there is general disregard of regulative principles, the Lord himself descends and corrects the way. We should, however, note carefully that although we have to follow in the footsteps of the Lord, we still have to remember that we cannot imitate him. Following and imitations are not on the same level. We cannot imitate the Lord by lifting the Govardhan hill, as the Lord did in his childhood. It is impossible for any human being. We have to follow his instructions, but we may not imitate him at any time. The Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-30-31 affirms, Naitad samachare jatu manasa pihi anishwaraha vinashyatyacharan maudhyad yatha rudro bhijam visham ishwaranam vacha satyam tathaiva charitam kvachit tesham yat swavacho yuktam buddhimam tat samacharet. One should simply follow the instructions of the Lord and his empowered servants. Their instructions are all good for us, and any intelligent person will perform them as instructed. However, one should guard against trying to imitate their actions. One should not try to drink the ocean of poison in imitation of Lord Shiva. We should always consider the position of the Ishwaras, or those who can actually control the movements of the sun and the moon, as superior. Without such power, one cannot imitate the Ishwaras, who are super powerful. Lord Shiva drank poison to the extent of swallowing an ocean. But if any common man tries to drink even a fragment of such poison, he will be killed. There are many pseudo devotees of Lord Shiva who want to indulge in smoking ganja, marijuana, and similar intoxicating drugs, forgetting that by so imitating the acts of Lord Shiva, they are calling death very near. Similarly, there are some pseudo devotees of Lord Krishna who prefer to imitate the Lord in his Ras Leela or dance of love, forgetting their inability to lift Govardhan hill. It is best, therefore, that one should not try to imitate the powerful but simply follow their instruction. Nor should one try to occupy their post without qualification. There are so many incarnations of God without the power of the Supreme God. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we are actually going through beautiful shlokas. So we actually have amazing 4 shlokas starting from 3.21 to 24. Actually, even 25 is very beautiful. It's the meaning of that shloka is very beautiful. So we'll recap a little bit from 3.21. So 3.21, Lord Krishna says, Yadyat acharati shreshtas tattat eva tarojana sayat paramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. Whatever actions great man perform, common man follows. Right? So this is, and whatever that's okay. So whatever standards they set, basically the common man tries to follow it, right? Tries to achieve it. So now, so this is starting off. So basically, the 3rd chapter. You know what is the 3rd chapter? The name of the 3rd chapter is Karma Yoga, right? So Krishna talks about Nishkam Karma Yoga in this chapter, and this specifically set a series of shlokas. He's talking about the leadership qualities, and what will happen if the leader does not follow any rules and regulations. So he's talking about these things in the next 4 shlokas. So in the first one, he's talking about whatever the great man does, common man follows, right? Like Krishna Gokulesh Prabhuji on the other day, he said, you first have to achara, like you should have your achar and then you should do prachar. You should do the acharan, right? You should have those qualities, and then you can actually do the prachar, because that's when it will actually touch the heart of people. So in the next shloka, basically Krishna says, so someone might ask, right, why is Krishna helping Arjuna, right? What is he going to get? Has Arjuna told that he will give you some 25% of the kingdom if he wins? No, right? Nothing like that. So Krishna says here that no work prescribed for me in the 3 planetary systems. So Krishna is saying himself, there is no work for me assigned. I don't have to do any work. I don't want anything. No need to obtain anything. Yet he is engaged in the prescribed duties. So if you see this, Raman, right? There was one actually, even in the material scenario, if say, you might have some friends who will be like your common benefit friends, right? Means friends whom you might benefit, and they will also be your friends because they might benefit something from you. But you might like those friends, but you will especially like those friends who will help you even if they don't get any benefit, right? You'll really love that friend. So Krishna is here. He's like that. He'll be there with you. He will love you. He will always be there with you, even if he is not going to get anything. That's why he's there with Arjuna also. He does not want anything. He is literally owning everything, right? The 3 worlds. He does not need anything, but still he's there with Arjuna. Okay. So next one, 3.23. So it says that if Krishna he failed to engage in the carefully performing the prescribed duties, all men would also follow the path, right? They will also not follow the prescribed duties. So after that, we start with 3.24. So 3.24, so Lord Krishna is explaining what will happen now. Okay, so what will happen if people do not follow the prescribed duties. So in the purport, right, Srila Prabhupada, he talks about 3 specific things. One is Varna Shankara, and then the second thing is how Lord Krishna descends. Okay, and the third thing is how not to imitate Lord Krishna. So we'll discuss about all three aspects briefly. So the first thing, Lord Krishna. So before we start that, actually, does anyone remember that the same thing about Varna Shankara? Arjuna had given a different reason in the first chapter. Anyone remembers? He was saying basically that if I fight, then there will be a destruction of the families. All the male members will be destroyed. The women will get polluted, and then Varna Shankaras will be born. That's what Arjuna was giving. But here Krishna is saying the other way around. He is saying that if you do not follow that, if you do not do your prescribed duties, that is when actually Varna Shankaras will be born. So what is this Varna Shankara and how are they created? So anyone knows what is the brief meaning, like short meaning of Varna Shankara? Yes, bro?
Actually, dharma will be like broken.
Correct.
Like what are the religious principles as per the home is there. So if men are killed, it will be created unnecessary
Yes.
restriction wrong things.
Correct. So unwanted population. So basically unwanted progeny is Varna Shankara. So how are these Varna Shankara created? Like Prabhuji mentioned here, right? So when people stop following the regulative principles, that's when Varna Shankaras are born. So actually if you see in Kali Yuga, most of the people, they are actually like that only, Varna Shankaras, right? And nobody is actually into devotional service. Nobody wants to be part of spiritual activities. Everyone is involved in material activities. So this is Varna Shankara. So if you say the qualities of the Varna Shankara, they are always disturbed. If you see, and they themselves are disturbed, and they will cause disturbance to others as well. So in the Vedic Shastras and all, it is mentioned how to get good progeny or how to get good populations, right? So it is given that there are some methods like Garbhadhan Samskar, where actually when you do this Garbhadhan Samskar, right, the husband and wife, they go through certain austerities where their mind actually gets pure. And when they actually get into the process of Garbhadhan, the child that is born out of that is also comes out with a very pure mind in Satoguna basically. So in Shastras it is mentioned, but nobody follows Shastras nowadays, right? So what happens here? Krishna mentions Upahanyam Imha Prajaha. So last line, right, in this shloka, Upahanyam Imha Praja. So basically, peace of all these living beings is destroyed, right? Is basically what does it say? Actually, can someone read that? The translation, just the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada.
If I don't perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings.
Exactly. So he is saying that these Varna Shankara will destroy the peace of all living beings, right? So actually in Srila Prabhupada he mentions in the lecture, right? He says when there is a critical mass of such Varna Shankaras, right? What happens is basically three things will happen. One is disease, next is famine, and the third one is war. So these three things will happen if there is a lot of Varna Shankaras, if they get accumulated at one place. So actually, Srila Prabhupada he mentions that this is called a Malthusian theory. It's an actual economic theory where he says that if the population grows exponentially but the resources is growing linear, then this will cause these three things basically, diseases, famine and war. So I don't have to explain because you are right now seeing that we almost came out of disease scenario, and hopefully it doesn't come back, and we already are seeing war, and there are already famines in so many places, right? So this is the cause when Varna Shankaras are in an increase, right? So what Lord Krishna is doing here is basically, even at that time, there were Varna Shankaras, there was unwanted population. So what he did was basically he got all them together, and then there was a war. The war that you know as Mahabharata, right? So that was the Mahabharata war. So he brought up all those unwanted population together, and then now in the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita, it says that as a farmer removes the weeds from the field, right? Similarly, all this unwanted population, they will be removed from this world. So now that we understood, okay, what is Varna Shankara? Okay, so now we'll try to understand how Krishna descends and why does he descend to this material world, right? So anyone knows why Krishna descends in the material world? 4.7, 4.8 Bhagavad Gita?
To establish dharma.
Yeah.
To
Correct. So what is that shloka? It's a very famous shloka. Everyone generally, yeah, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuptanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajami. So dharmasya glani. So what happens is when there is a decline of religious activities and predominant rise of irreligion, that is when Lord appears in this material world. Okay, so now somebody might actually people question, right? So what do you think in Kali Yuga? All devatas are roaming around. All the adharmis are only roaming around here right now, right? So why is Krishna not appearing? So Krishna actually appears in this world. How? As the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in 500 years back, right? Approximately 500 years back. So why did he appear? So basically, Lord Krishna, he came and he gave all the instructions in Bhagavad Gita, right? You have to do this, do this, do this. So, but the people, they are not able to follow that. So what happens is Krishna says that tumse na ho payega abhi. I'll only come and I'll show you how to do this. So he comes at Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he actually shows how Krishna conscious activities is performed. The second, there is one more avatar actually in this Kali Yuga. Anyone knows what is that avatar? Kalki avatar is going to come later, but right now it's already there here. You're close, Prabhuji. So in the form of Harinam, right? So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, it is said, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar, Nama Haite Haya Sarva Jagata Nistar. So what does it mean? In this age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name, one associates with the Lord directly. Anyone who does this certainly is delivered. Right? This one. Right? So this is what is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Lord Krishna has come in the form of his name in this Kali Yuga. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has taught how to take this name, right? He only shows how the Kirtan, Sankirtan, Japa, how we have to do. All these things Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself explains. So there is one more very beautiful line here. Somebody can read the second or third line where Srila Prabhupada, he says that Lord is like our parent. Can you read that, Prabhuji? On that 3.24? Just that one line. It's the third line, I think.
Rules and regulations by which the population can automatically become peaceful.
The Lord is a father.
Yes, that one.
The Lord is the father of all living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. Therefore,
Yes. So this line, right? We have to understand this line. So what happens in this material world, right? Even if you have normalcy, if a child he misbehaves, right? What will the other people they come and tell them? Your parents have not taught you. बच्चे मम्मी पापा ने सिखाया नहीं है आपको बराबर से कैसे behave करना, right? So here exactly Srila Prabhupada is giving that sentiment, saying that if Lord he does not come and show up, he does not show up and fix all these things, then again the children when they will be blamed for that Krishna he has not taught them anything, right? So that's what actually Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. So eventually, what is the conclusion of this Varnashram? So Varna Shankaras basically. So how do we resolve this issue of Varna Shankaras? So Lord Krishna, he is saying this very famous shloka in Bhagavad Gita, 18.66. Everyone generally knows. What is that shloka? Do you know? Sarva Dharman. Yeah? Sarva Dharman Parityajya Namam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayashyami Ma Suchaha. So he is saying, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So basically, even Srila Prabhupada in his lecture, he says that all the activities, right, goal of all religious activities is to establish relationship with the Lord. So this is the goal of all your religious activities. You might have heard this statement also, Srila Prabhupada, he says a lot. He says that all religion, the goal of all religion is to know God and to love Him. You might have heard this statement a lot. So Srila Prabhupada, he always emphasizes on this. So one more thing actually, now Gauranga Darshan Prabhu had come, right, recently, if you all know. So last week, Mukund Malastotra, he was giving an example. Even in that example, he was saying for the Shloka 21, I think, he was saying that if you are reciting all the mantras, right, you are reciting all the mantras without having Krishna as the goal, it is like you are shouting in the forest, like you are lost, right? You are lost in the forest and you are shouting. That's how reciting of the mantra without keeping Krishna in the center, without keeping Krishna as the goal. So there is one more example actually I'd like to give. This is from actually His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. So the names might be a little different as in the story, but the story goes like this. So what happened is once upon a time there was a young guy and an old person both waiting for a bus. Okay, so both of them were waiting for a bus in a remote village. This bus comes only once in 3 hours. Okay, so it is completely packed, crowded, nobody can get in. So this bus, it comes there in the stop, and then both these guys, they try to get into the bus. Like it is so crowded that both of them are pushing each other, and eventually both of them cannot get into that bus. Okay, so now what happened? The bus leaves. Now both of them are really angry with each other, right? But now that old man, he suddenly says, "Do you know Shastri ji from this and this village?" Now the young guy, his face actually, his eyes becomes lit up like, "Why are you talking about Shastri ji from this and this village?" He said, "He's the Sarpanch and he is I am his younger brother." So suddenly this young fellow, he says, "You know this person, the Shastri ji you are talking about, he is my grandfather." Okay, so now what happens is the whole scenario, that 3 hours that they are fighting, what has happened now for the next 3 hours? Do you think they will be fighting with each other? No, right? So now you have to understand from this story, I'd like to ask a question. So what changed between the first 3 hours and the second 3 hours? Anybody? What changed?
Center point is that person is center point, and these people become friends.
Correct. So what did they do that they changed the thing?
Both are friends to them, so we will be friends.
Yes. So they remembered the relationship, the original relationship with that person, right? Suddenly that original relationship they remembered. Suddenly for each other's relationship also came up, right? So they started loving each other also. So this is the whole point. So if you love Krishna, right? If you build a relationship with Krishna, automatically all these people, it won't even matter if they are plants, animals, even an insect, right? It wouldn't matter. You will automatically have this mercy and kindness towards everyone. So we have this lot of people who they say that we want to do only social service. We want to do only Desh Seva. We do not want to do actual spirituality because that does not lead to anything. But now you have to understand this is the biggest seva that you can do. So if you build a relationship with Lord, you don't have to do specifically this one social service, or you don't have to do this Desh Seva and all. Automatically those things will be included because you will automatically have this kindness and mercy towards every living beings, right? So this is what we understand from this conclusion, basically, how we get resolved from this Varna Shankar problem. Okay, so the last section where we actually discuss, Srila Prabhupada, he says, is we should not imitate God, right? We should not be imitating God, we should be following whatever he says. So now imitation and following. So in Sanskrit, there are two words basically, Anukaran and Anusaran. So Anukaran means to copy, okay, to imitate. And Anusaran means to follow. So we should not do Anukaran, we should be doing Anusaran. So when you see here, right, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it's not a post. No one can become Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are people who say we'll do tapasya, we'll do this and that, and then we'll become God. So that is not possible. God is not a post. God is God even when he is a small baby in the lap of Yashoda Maya. If he is bound to a grinding motor, or if he is killing asuras, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You cannot become Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is no chance for that. Okay. So one more thing that is given here is, so if you have to understand that whenever Krishna descends, right, there are mentions about it in the Shastras. You cannot have automatic avatars coming in. There will be mention of Shastras, how he will look, what he will do, which place he will come, which place he will be born, who will be associates of him, like who will he associate, and what he will do, what are his actions, who will the parents be, who will the mother and father be. So all these are given in the Shastras. So there is no chance for any confusion of who is an avatar and who is not. Okay, so we have to remember that. And one more thing we'll see here. So Srila Prabhupada has quoted one shloka in that, right? In the he has given the translation in between for Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33:30. So can you please read, Prabhuji? Can you read that translation from that from this Bhagavad Gita? No, from the Bhagavad Gita 3.24. If you can read.
Should I read purport or?
No, just the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam shloka. There is one Srimad Bhagavatam shloka in between, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the translation for that.
One should simply follow the
Yes.
one should simply follow the instructions of the Lord and His empowered servants. Their instructions are all good for us, and any intelligent person will perform them as instructed. However, one should guard against trying to imitate their actions. One should not try to drink the ocean of poison in imitation of Lord Shiva.
Yes. So actually this shloka is said by Shukdev Goswami. So Shukdev Goswami is telling you should not imitate. You should not imitate. One who is not a great controller should never imitate the behavior of ruling personalities, even mentally. Should not even think that you are a great personality. Because it's only out of foolishness. If an ordinary person does imitate such behavior, he will simply destroy himself. Okay, so this line actually I wanted to put stress on. So there are a lot of people, there are a lot of avatars right now in this world, right? They all call themselves, we are the God, right? We are the avatars, we are Krishna himself. So all these people, they come. But the eventuality of this, what will happen is, they will get destroyed. And even the people who are following those kind of people, right? They will all be getting destroyed as well. So that's what Srila Prabhupada also gives in this purport, right? So there are people who say that Lord Shiva, he drank poison. So that's why we also have this marijuana, right? Weed, people take that. So, but if you actually want to follow Shiva, then you should be drinking the poison, right? Why are you taking this marijuana? You should drink poison. But even a drop of poison, if that person takes, what will happen? He'll die, right? Similarly, for Krishna also, they say that we follow the Ras Leela. We are God, so we'll also do Ras Leela. But Krishna just didn't do Ras Leela. He did so many activities. He lifted the Govardhan hill. You go and lift. You take a huge boulder, you lift a mountain, both your hands, not even with one finger, both your hands, you lift, not possible, right, for any person. So you should not imitate Lord Krishna. You should follow, so not even Krishna, it says even the Lord Krishna's empowered servants. It says here, right, ruling personalities, I think in that translation it says that Lord Krishna or the empowered servants also you should not be imitating. So, okay, I'll end last with one story from Krishna book. Okay, so when we say this, right, there are a lot of gods right now in this Kali Yuga. So this phenomena is not actually specific to Kali Yuga also. Even during Krishna's time, there were people who called themselves Krishna. So there is a story in Krishna book, chapter 66, called the story of Paundraka, the king Paundraka. So this Paundraka, right, king, he was the king of Karusha. So what he said was, he actually believed that he was Krishna, and he sent a messenger. So he sent a messenger when Lord Balram was not there. Lord Balram had gone to Vrindavan. So he sent a messenger to Dwarka at that time. He told Krishna, you are not Vasudev, I am Vasudev. So you give up your Shankha and Chakra and everything, and you come and surrender to me. So he is saying that Sarva Dharman Parityaja to Krishna himself, right? He is telling that you surrender to me, I am a benevolent God, I'll forgive all your sins. So this is what he told Krishna. So now Krishna, first of all, when the messenger came and told this, everybody in that this thing, right, Rajya Sabha, they started laughing like anything. Right? Who is telling, literally see that confidence of a person, he is coming and telling Krishna, you give up everything, I am Krishna. Right? So such a funny thing. So now after laughing, right, so Krishna says that, okay, you go and tell your master, I am not giving up anything, and you wanted a fight, right, I'll come and fight with you. So now Krishna goes, he fights. So now at that time, right, this Paundraka king, he was with his friend named Kashiraj. He is the king of Kashi. So Kashiraj. So both of them, they were together, and this Kashiraj was more of that kind of person who was like pumping that Pandrak, yes, you are God, you are God. So I'll follow you. So there are always these kind of people, right? One of the qualities, even in people, right? They are saying that there is a propensity to to cheat and to be cheated, right? So there will always be like a guru or who calls himself a god, and then there will always be a followers who will like kind of pump him that yes, you are god, you are god. So now Krishna, he takes all his army to Kashi, and then he surrounds that his kingdom from all the four sides, and then this guy Paundraka, he comes outside to fight Krishna. So now, after seeing that person, right, Paundraka, Krishna starts laughing in the battlefield itself. So this person, he has attached two more hands to him. He is carrying Shankar Chakra, Gada, and everything. He is carrying an Srivatsa Chinna. So that hair he has artificially he made Srivatsa Chinna. He is carrying a imitation Saranga bow. He is wearing yellow pitambar, exactly like Vishnu, right? He is copying completely. And then he comes there, and after Krishna seeing that person, he starts laughing like anything, like what copy you have done. So now Krishna, he says that now because you are cheating everyone, I'll kill you. So now Krishna sends his Sudarshan Chakra, he cuts off his head, and he kills King Paundraka. He does not just kill Paundraka also, he kills even the Kashiraj also. So like we mentioned here, right, it will destroy you if you are trying to imitate falsely to being God, right? You will be destroyed. So similarly, both this Paundraka and the Kashiraj both got destroyed. So similarly, you can see right here. So people calling gods is not new, but we have to understand from the scriptures. We have to see what's given in the scriptures. That's how we identify who is God, who is not, right? And then again, what we do is basically we follow the acharyas. So Krishna Gokulesh Prabhuji 2 days back, he was quoting this shloka, right? Tarko pratishtha shrutayo vibhinna nashav rishir yasya matamna bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam gohaya mahajano yena gatasa panta. I think it has there here, yeah. Right. So what does it say? Dry arguments are inconclusive. The great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to a right path by religious principles. One cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principle is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajanas advocate. So basically, we have to follow whatever Lord Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, and whatever the pure disciples, pure devotees of the Lord, they tell. So we have to follow all this, all the religious principles, those that have been mentioned by them. So actually, even so Mahajanas, when you say, we have 12 Mahajanas, right? We have Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapilo, Manu, Prahlado, Janako, Bhishmo, Balir, Vaya, Sakir, Vayam. So we have 12 Mahajanas. So all these people, they have actually told the religious principle, how to follow, what to do. So you just have to follow that. You do not imitate the Lord or imitate even these great Mahajanas. You just accept what they are telling and you follow it in their life. So this will be very helpful in your bhakti. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. So I'll pause here. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yes, bro. Yes. So Prabhuji's question is, if we chant 16 rounds and follow regulative principles, is there a chance for us to go back home, back to Godhead in this life, or will we take multiple lives? So now actually I'll tell your answer in a story actually. So there is a story again in the Shastras. So what happened was this Narad Muni, he was going through, right, from one of the villages he was going through. So he met a Brahmana there. So Brahmana, he comes and tells Narad Muni, so Narad Muni, please accept my humble obeisances. And next time you meet Lord Vishnu, right, can you please ask him, when can I get back home, back to Godhead? Can you please tell me? So he said, okay, I'll ask this question. Okay. So he moves ahead, Narad Muni moves ahead. So again, there is a cobbler in between. So cobbler also, he is also chanting Lord Krishna's name. So he also asks, he also offers obeisances to Lord Narada, Narada Muni, and he asks the same question. So Narada Muni, please, if you could meet next time, Lord, can you ask him when I am going back home, back to God? So okay, Narad Muni says, I'll ask. So he goes back, goes to Vaikuntha, he meets Lord Vishnu, and he asks, okay, I actually got two questions from two different people, and they want to know when they are going to come back home, back to God. So Lord Vishnu, he says, okay, tell that Brahmana he'll take 1,000 lifetimes to come. And then okay, so 1,000 lifetime to go for a Brahmana, 1,000 lifetimes, okay. So what about this cobbler? So he says, cobbler, you tell him he'll come in the next lifetime. Okay, next lifetime, okay. So he Narad Muni is confused. So he's saying, why 1,000 lifetime for a Brahmana and why one lifetime for this cobbler? So he says, see, next time when you ask him, right, when you tell them this story, this thing that Lord Vishnu has said this, so they will ask you what Lord Vishnu is doing. So just tell him that Lord Vishnu, he is putting an elephant through an eye of the needle. You tell them that. So now, okay, Narad Muni is confused. So he says, he comes back, okay. So he meets the Brahmana first. So Brahmana, he meets. So now he says that again, so did you ask Lord Vishnu when I am going to come back? So he says, yes, I asked him. He actually told me you will take 1,000 lifetime. I am doing this mantra. I am doing homa every day. So since morning and evening, I am taking so much smoke, and you are telling 1,000 lifetimes. So tell me what Lord Vishnu was doing during when you asked this question. So he says that Lord Vishnu actually he was putting an elephant through the eye of a needle. Elephant through eye. What are you telling? You never went to Lord Vishnu. You are just telling something from your own brain. You never met Lord Vishnu. You are just saying anything. So now Narad Muni said, okay. So what to do? So he goes from there. So now the next is the cobbler. So again the cobbler he offers obeisances. He asks him, so what happened? Did you meet Lord Vishnu? What did he say? So he says, Lord Vishnu, he told that you are going to come back in the next lifetime. I said, Hari bol, very nice. I am going to come back next lifetime. So now please tell me, what was Lord Vishnu doing when you met him? So he's saying that he was actually putting an elephant through the eye of the needle. It's like, Hari bol, my Lord can do anything. So he is so happy. So now when he asks, did you believe? Do you believe what I said? He says that, sorry, I just came out. So do you believe what Lord Vishnu said? Yes. Why is there any reason not to believe? So this cobbler, he was sitting under a banyan tree, okay. So now he's saying that if Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, he can put this whole banyan tree, you have seen banyan tree seeds is this small, right? If you can put that whole banyan tree in such a small seed, what is the difficulty for him to put this elephant in the eye of the needle? So this is again, so from this story basically we understand that we have to start from Shraddha, right? We have this 9 process, the Adav Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishta, Asakti, Ruchi, Bhav and Prem. So we reach this 9 stages. When we go through this 9 stages, eventually when we reach to the stage of Prem, that's when we go back home, back to Godhead. Right? Oh, I hope the answer was okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you everyone. Prji can start. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhurvya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Ananta Koti Vaishnav.